Alright, let's see if we can get these wheels sort of assembled. I got the rest of my components, so I got 140 millimeter disc just from Amazon, cheapo. I think it was less than 15 or around 15. And then for the front I have a Shimano 160. I think I got this on eBay or Amazon. It was like maybe less than 25 bucks or around there. So bought some of these Shimano brake adapters to get the center lock, to get the 6-bolt discs on the center lock wheels. What else did I get? Some more adapters. I got some of these TPU tubes off AliExpress. These were really cheap. So I'm going to try to run these with tubes instead of going tubeless. And I got some Vittoria tires, some clenchers, off Amazon. I think these were around the $50 range or less. 2 of those. So yeah, just a bunch of stuff. So let's see if I can get the disc on the rear wheel. I have never done this before, but you know, it's just a bicycle, so how hard can it be? Here's the adapter. And that comes with some gubbins. And some screws. And we'll need our rotor. There we go. Okay, so I'm assuming this guy is gonna go facing out, so the first part maybe is this guy. And the disc does have an arrow. I don't know if you can see that there. So this would be the drive side. So the wheel's spinning this way. So yeah, it should go this way. Like that. And then there's this plate here. And I would imagine that goes here, maybe? And then this guy threads on top. Something like that. Obviously we need to get the screws in. So, oh, there is a, are these instructions? Adapter. Yay for instructions. Scan the QR code for the user's manual. Alright. I'm not the type of person that refuses to look at instructions, so let's scan the QR code. Important notice, how to perform bed-in. Okay. Ride your bicycle, blah blah blah. Name of parts, is there... There we go, okay. So, okay. Yeah, kind of how I thought. So the first thing to do is to get the screws through the disc. And these Shimano screws are Torx. You know, I know a lot of people don't work on their own stuff, but I like it. You know, try to do whatever I can myself. Let me grab a Torx. A 1/4 inch nut driver, and I have my T15 Torx. This is kind of a hokey setup, but I'm just gonna run these in by hand. The thread locking compound, or the retaining compound that's on the screws, makes them kind of hard to get in, but we're doing it. Got a little torque wrench, cycling torque wrench from Amazon. I don't think I saw a torque spec on here, but I think hand tight would be perfect for these because they have the thread locking compound, but I set the wrench to 2 Newton meters. And I'm just gonna kind of tighten them up in a crisscross pattern. Cool. I think I got all of them. Yep. All right. Fun times, y'all. Fun times. So yeah, it goes on there, and then this guy goes like this with these serrations facing out according to this drawing. So it's all fine and dandy. And then this retaining collar, 40 Newton meters, and I'm going to put some grease on those threads. Don't have to go crazy. That's sitting in place. Alright, and I did also pick up this like cassette tool, which also does the should also do the retaining lock thingamabobber here. I think this was another Amazon special. Okay, bigger torque wrench set to 40. Feels like a lot for these aluminum parts, if I'm honest with you. And you don't get much purchase on that thin. There we go. That thin retaining ring or whatever the hell that thing's called. Alright. Sweet. There's a wheel with the disc. Hopefully it'll actually mount on the bike. Next thing to do is the tube and tire, but I think we'll do the might as well do the front disc. Alright, front wheel. Same deal, same adapter kit. Kind of know what we're doing a little bit now. Alright. So put that guy in there. Need our Shimano disc, 160. Maybe this guy tells you what the no. No torque spec. Okay, so this has arrows on it as well. And let's see, this would be, oops. The disc would be on this side, going this way. Like this. So this guy would go on like that. And we can put the screws in. Yeah, see, there's so much cycling content on YouTube. There's just loads and loads of cycling content, and that's all good, you know, it's enjoyable to watch. But But to me, like, my background is in motorcycles. Like, I worked in the motorcycle industry for a long time and worked on race bikes and built bikes and rebuilt engines and designed parts for bikes, blah, blah, blah. And to me, bicycles seem pretty simple, and I kind of feel like the content kind of overhypes this stuff a little bit as far as on the technical side of things, and it might put people off from working on their own bikes. Does that make sense? I don't know. Like, you have a bunch of content and people seem to be really, like, nitpicking things, and they're, you know, telling you what kind of grease to put on your bolts, and, you know, just they're super picky about everything. And I'm not saying don't grease your stuff if it calls for it, of course not, and obviously use a torque wrench and all that. But there's not a whole lot, right? So, I mean, it's just a bicycle, so I feel like it's a bit too much sometimes, and it can intimidate people from, you know, working on their own stuff. So, yeah, there are a couple channels I really like. I like Hambini a lot, obviously. Well, not obviously, but he's just freaking funny as hell. The Trace Velo guy, I like what he's doing because he's, you know, using budget parts, and he's kind of breaking down barriers, and you know, it kind of inspires me to do this kind of stuff, getting these wheels. I guess I like China cycling a little bit, but I like that he did the Panda Podium thing because it puts some of these Chinese parts in one place where you can kind of find them easier and shop with a little bit more confidence, you know, versus just trolling AliExpress. So that's really cool. When I first got into cycling, I was watching GCN a lot, and I mean, that was fine, but I quickly kind of felt like that was just too much. Like they were just trying to make content constantly, nitpicking everything. So I haven't watched those guys in a long time. But, you know, probably like you, I watch half the YouTube channels I watch just because of the, I like the creators, you know. I watch some channels I'm not even particularly interested in the subject matter, but the creators are, you know, they got good personalities, they're funny. Funny's always better, I think. Yeah, so I actually have another YouTube channel for my little business that I run, and it's RC radio controlled models, and I got about 6,000 or a little under 6,000 subscribers. A tiny channel. Yeah, but it's been on YouTube for almost 10 years, so 10 years, so 6,000 subscribers doesn't seem like much, but whatever. Who cares? This setup is slightly hokey with this Torx bit because it doesn't lock into the torque wrench, but I'll get it to work. Do have a composites background, so that's another thing about bicycles. Right when I got into bicycles, kind of blew my mind because I'm around and I work with products made out of composites that in a lot of ways are way more advanced than the stuff that's in the bicycles, and the cost is not, you know, I mean, not even comparable. The profit margin in name brand bicycles just must be absolutely insane, right? I think you're just paying for a lot of HR and marketing budgets and CEO salaries and things like that. Versus there's a lot of small companies out there, craftsmen that work in composites that make way more elaborate, complicated stuff for a lot less money. Not not bicycle related, but I think you know what I'm saying. Definitely the people in Taiwan and China. I'm putting grease on this guy, this retaining washer, whatever it is. Definitely the guys in China and Taiwan that are laying these parts up or milling the aluminum molds. They are definitely not seeing that money, that's for sure. It's all people in Western countries, but I'm not saying that's good or bad, but I think times are definitely changing. It's got to be getting harder for these big name brand bicycle companies, because I can understand if you're someone that doesn't work on any of their own stuff, wants everything turnkey, only puts air in your tires kind of guy. I think a name brand bike might be the way to go. But if you're kind of a DIY person, building your own bike from parts, from Chinese parts, I think that's probably the way to go. So yeah, I don't think this channel, I don't even know what this channel is. I named it after my very first business in life, which was making motorcycle fairings. But I think I'm going to do some composite stuff on this channel, projects, but it's just going to be like, just things I like that's not RC related from my other channel. There we go, sweet. Not bad, super simple. So always make sure you wind down all your torque wrenches to 0 before you put them away. Okay, so where's my little, here we go. I think the next thing I'm going to do is try to get these inner tubes and my tires on. And I think the best way to do that would probably be to put a little bit of air in these, just a tiny bit, and then try to get them on. And my tires here, let's see what these guys look like. I bought some Continental, what are those, 5000 tubeless from my stock rims, and I didn't ride on them all that much, and they're already cracking and kind of gross, so I don't know. Hope these work better. Alright, let me try to put some air in these. I gotta go in the garage to do that. Alright, let's get these tires on here. There's an arrow on the tire, so I'll make sure the arrow's pointing the right way. I'm gonna try to get half on the wheel. Let's see here, come on. A little more. A little more. I wonder if the internet likes watching me put a tire on here. A little more. I think I'm just probably being stupid with this now. Alright, that looks about like that. Fine. Okay, let's get half on. Okay. Alright, tube. Put a little bit of air in the tube. And we're gonna try to get this guy where she belongs, or he belongs. Okay. Yeah, so my experience with tubeless, generally fine. Had several flats that sealed, but I did have 2 flats that didn't seal, and that was a giant nightmare. Literally spending more than an hour on the side of the road, and in one situation it was getting dark and cold and miserable. And it's just a pain in the butt to get the freaking tires off and on the rims to get the tubes in, you know? If you have to throw a tube in a tubeless setup. And I was honestly struggling to find the benefit. The only benefit I could see was that the tubes are pretty big to be stuffing in your saddlebag. But other than that, you know, I really don't know the benefit. I'm not a good enough cyclist, or I don't care enough for things like rolling resistance and all that kind of gubbins that maybe comes along with all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Alright, tire lever on carbon rim. Ick. Oh my gosh. Whew. Well, I guess I didn't need the tire levers. Finally. Alright. Let's get some air in this guy. Finally, success. Got some air in the tire. Pretty cool. First set of carbon wheels. I got the other one to do. I don't think you guys need to go through the misery of watching me mount the rear tire. I think the front was enough torture for you. I'm gonna mount these on my bike. I gotta put a different bracket on the front brake caliper for the bigger disc. That shouldn't be a big deal. But then I can't wait to get out on these things and see what a pair of carbon wheels feels like.